Mm. I'm going to talk about rejection and how it can affect a person's well-being and how it can take a toll on you mentally and physically and emotionally, especially if you have a mental deficit like Aspergers like I have, and how the hypersensitivity can kick in. Firstly, nobody likes to be rejected. Everybody wants to be loved and accepted, no matter what, even if they have a flaw and they know it. No one wants to be rejected. Not anybody, even the ugliest person, or the fattest person. If the person is only 2 feet tall, they still don't want to be rejected. No one wants to be rejected. And I can tell you, I've been rejected on a regular basis. And does it hurt? Fuck yes, it does. And to answer to you how I deal with it, more like I'm in that period phase where I get sad and depressed, and I'll think about it and I'll obsess about it, like when a girl or a woman tells me that we'll be nothing more than just friends, and I get friend zoned right away. Usually at first I'll get angry, then I'll get sad, then I'll go back to getting angry, and then I'll just drop it all and let it go. It's kind of a vicious cycle. I was rejected today, actually earlier, for like the 3rd or 4th time by someone that I thought I had a connection with, but I was wrong. I don't like rejection. Rejection puts you in a state of mind that makes you feel that you're hopeless, that you're unworthy, that you're no good, and that you're worthless. And it can really damage your self-esteem when someone rejects you. And I've been rejected by girls that were really good looking and girls that were also ugly alike. Or I won't say ugly, not as good looking. Because, nobody's really truly ugly. Ugly's a state of mind as well. Unless your heart and soul is ugly. And I was really saddened by it. I've been rejected from the time I was in middle school and high school, even for just friends, because I didn't have no social skills and I didn't know how to interact with people. And I would repeat the same stuff and the same subject matter. I was very obsessive compulsive to get my point across that people just didn't comprehend what I was saying. And I could explain something over and over again and talk about that same subject and be obsessed with it because I really was obsessed. My Aspergers made me that way, but also living in the environment I lived in, the toxic environment with my mother, didn't help any. Having an overbearing helicopter parent also does damage to a person's self-esteem. Being in a sheltered environment also destroys a person emotionally. When you're sheltered away from the world and you got someone who's abusive and says all kinds of horrible things to you, internally, you're crying inside and outside. You're crying out for help and for people to understand you, but yet they still don't understand you. Or maybe they do understand, but it's a fact that they just don't give a shit and they don't care because they got their own lives and everybody is busy doing their own thing. Like, I don't expect others to feel sorry for me, and you shouldn't either. I don't want some girl to be with me just because she feels sorry for me and sees me getting rejected by all these other girls, because then that wouldn't be real love. That'd be mock love, faux love. It would not be real. Eventually that relationship would crumble. The likelihood of it working out, very unlikely. You can't have someone feeling sorry for you or people feeling sorry for you, because if they do, they're not really going to respect you. Because I think there's a lot of couples, a lot of people who are together because they feel sorry for people or feel sorry for each other, and they're together and they stay together for years on end miserably, and they get married and have kids, and then later on divorce, and they hate each other and they separate, and the kid's life gets fucked up, and they got to witness that shit and all the friends and family, and it's just one big pile of shit all crumbled up on top of each other. And it's just not fair. I want a relationship because the person wants to be with me, not someone out of need. I mean, I know I might come off as lonely and desperate, but I'm really not. I'm accustomed to being alone. It's been 4, almost 5 years since I've had a girlfriend. I've done a lot of messing around, a lot of one-night stands, a lot of different dates here and there. Nothing serious though, and that's sufficed thus far, but I do want something serious because I'm at that point in my life and I'm at the age, pushing 40, I need to get more serious and get my act together. But I cannot be in the same situation I was in. I cannot be with a girl that's still living with her family and whose family is going to get in my way and judge me. I just can't have that. That is why I've been selective, and you should be selective too on who you decide as your partner. And another way you can deal with the rejection is you can either just move on to the next partner or the next potential person that you might be interested in, because that's what I do a lot of the time. If I get rejected by one girl, I'll find another girl I'm interested in. I don't keep my eggs all in one basket. You can't be interested in just one person because the likelihood of that one person liking you, very unlikely. Or they might like you, but you're taking a gamble. That's why it's always important to have a backup plan. If that one person doesn't like you, and that's your first choice, you need to have a second option. I say at least have 1, 2, 3 options you can fall back on. Now it's possible that all 3 of those, none of them might like you. And if that happens, which has happened to me many a times, you're shit out of luck. What you got to do is eliminate those other 3, move on to another 3 that you might like potentially. I mean, me at one time, I've liked close to 20 women at the same time, but I knew I could only have one, and none of those women really picked me, and it didn't go very far. It was mostly just sex, and I couldn't get anything out of it. Well, there was one with anxiety that I could have been with, and she was like bipolar and schizophrenic and had PTSD, and not a good mix for me. I mean, I got my problems. Me being with somebody else who's a train wreck doesn't help my situation. It makes it worse. I need someone who's got all their mental facets together and who can stand and listen to me and understand where I'm coming from. Because I'm damaged, I'm fucked up, I'm messed up, I know I am, and I've been my whole life. From the traumatic childhood I've had, and the traumatic adulthood I'm having now. And there's no changing that. Every day's a struggle for me. I wake up every day sometimes, broken and beaten. And I ask questions of the higher powers above. Why do I got to go through this? Why do I have to deal with this? What did I do to deserve all this? Why did I have to have all these relationships that I had where my partners never gave a damn about me, and yet I still stuck with them? I mean, that messes with my head on a daily basis. I think about it all the time because I'm obsessive and I'm compulsive. I've got very bad OCD. It's part of my Aspergers. If I'm obsessed, and I'm obsessed with the idea of finding a partner, and I've been obsessed with it for at least 20 years. And I can tell you from the time I was a kid, I was obsessed with it. I mean, I know more likelihood of me ever having children is very unlikely, especially now at the age that I'm at. I just want someone who's going to accept me for the mess that I am and not expect anything out of me. Just expect that I'm going to love them and honor them, but I'll not bend over ass backwards to kiss their family's ass just to be with them. That I'll not do. So I need someone who understands that and who's willing to accept that. It'd be nice to find a girl who's non-family oriented. When I say non-family oriented, meaning somebody that's not focused on their parents or what their parents think or what their family thinks of me or whatever partner, let's say. A lot of times that seems to happen where people's family always get in the way of the relationship. And unless the two people are family oriented, that relationship's never going to work. if you got one person like me who's concerned about the relationship and where it's heading and not the family, then you're going to have a problem. Just like me and my last partner had. I mean, to me, she just never gave me enough time, never cared about me, never loved me the way I wanted to be loved, begrudged me sex, did a lot of things that I didn't like. And I expressed my frustrations and anger by lashing out and using bad language. I even cheated. I'm not justifying it, but I did it because I was really upset and I didn't know how else to cope with it. You know, as the saying goes, once a cheater, always a cheater. There's always that temptation, because I've been rejected my whole life and I've got abandonment issues, and it's hard for me to have a connection with somebody at this point since I've been through so much pain and hurt. And I know I can only be with a certain type of person. And that's what I've been spending the last few years trying to hunt for. And it's been a grueling hunt. And so far I've had no luck, no results. Every result I've gotten is what I don't want. I mean, if I dated any of these other girls, I might as well have stayed with my ex-girlfriend, because that's what it's like. I'll be in the same situation all over again, over and over and over and over again, and the cycle will never end till I end my life, because that's how it makes me feel when I got to deal with that. I just want to be left alone in peace. I want to have my relationship with my partner. I want to do things. I want to go to movies. I want to go to concerts. I want to climb the mountains. I want to go hiking. I want to go places. I want to go to restaurants. I don't want to be around their fucking family. I don't want them getting involved, asking questions, who I am, what I do. It's none of their fucking business. Especially, you know, now that the age that I'm at, it's nobody's business. My relationship is between me and my partner. Not my partner and their family. Just my partner. And I just wish someone out there could understand the concept. I feel like I'm speaking in an alien language here and that nobody understands me. That I'm talking to a wall here. And I'm hoping there are people out there who have been through what I've been through. I mean, I know there are. There's a lot of guys I know that hate their girlfriends' families. I know I'm not the only one. But that hatred really fucking tears you apart. I mean, I got health problems. I take 15 prescriptions because I'm in so much pain from all the emotions. It really tears a person apart. And the hatred is a poison. And, you know, rejection can bring about hatred too. Like when my girlfriend broke up with me, that's a form of rejection. She rejected me. Said she didn't love me anymore. I ended up hating her for it and wishing her dead. Why is that? It's because I'm angry as all hell and I want to retaliate. But do I solve anything by doing that? No. I just hurt her more and I hurt myself too. I mean, but I'm an angry person. I have a hard time regulating my emotions and my anger. I don't want to be cornered and put in a place where I don't want to be. If I tell you I like you and I love you and I care about you and you don't reciprocate those same feelings, then please get the fuck out of my way and move forward. And don't play me. Be honest. What I hate is the whole flip-flop thing where people will say they don't like you, they're not attracted to you. Girls especially, and then they'll take all their clothes off and say they are attracted to you. I've been in that situation where a girl rejected me like 5 or 6 times, and all of a sudden she's all over me, confusing the hell out of me. And I've talked about this before in another video where I said women and girls who play games, that's a prime example right there. Where they'll, you know, play with your head and they'll have sex with you. But it's up to you to not fall for the bait and realize you're being used and played with like a cat and mouse game. You got to stand up for yourself and you got to do what you think's right. It's not worth it getting that piece of pussy or dick and to get your fantasy dream of a relationship going, because that thing won't last. It'll be all fake. Because that person really wasn't going to reject you. They wouldn't have rejected you in the first place. Now it's too late. They want to flip-flop and say that they want to be with you. I don't think so. It doesn't work that way. You can't reject someone and then try to win them over afterwards. After you've hurt that person and you've put them down and you've gotten their hopes up, then you crush them and then you try to rebuild them back up. You can't fucking do that. You just can't do that. If you're gonna say you don't want to be with somebody, then fucking be of your word and don't be with that person. Because that person is gonna end up hating you. And I've hated so many women and so many people for rejecting me for this reason here that I'm telling you. And I've had a horrible day today. I'm in a very bad mood. I've had to deal with a lot of shit, and I have no help. I'm going through the motions. I'm not joking around or kidding. I've had a very bad day, and I'm just not looking forward to tomorrow either. Because I'm going to wake up, I'm going to be pissed off. Probably make another video. You know, that's all I can tell you how to deal with rejection. I mean, everybody deals with it differently. Some people will go eat themselves to death. I just bought a 12-pack of beer. I'm about to start drinking here because I'm so upset. I had my hopes up, and then I get fucking rejected. Game over. I'm just fucking tired of it. What do you guys think? What do you guys do when you're rejected? How does a so-called normal person, quote-unquote, handle rejection? If you're hypersensitive, like I am, and you have abandonment issues and you have Aspergers, it's going to be hard as hell to handle it. You're going to be going through life getting angry. I'm an angry person. You can ask every one of my friends, they'll tell you. You can go on my Facebook and read my posts. I am pissed off all the time. I may not say it outright. I was in Walmart earlier. I was in a bad fucking mood. And I almost accidentally hit this girl with my cart that was in front of me in line. And it was an accident. I didn't mean to do that. Because I wasn't paying attention. I was hyper-focused on being rejected. And I was just so angry and upset and just torn apart. I can tell you how it feels when you're rejected and when someone, you know, breaks up with you. Basically, it feels like pins and needles in your chest and a match with fire on it and a flame that's ignited inside, and your chest is just burning with pain, and you just feel like there's nothing but crying, and there's so much sadness, and you're trying to breathe, and anxiety's kicking in, and it's fucking with you. And I tell you, when I was with not my last girlfriend, but from the girlfriend before, I went through that breakup, it really fucked me up. Because I was so in love with her. I thought that was a girl I was going to have kids with. I was going to have my future with, but her fucking family got in the way, as usual. And we were together for 2 years, and that relationship sent me over the edge. It took me 2.5 years to somewhat get to a normal baseline. Because for the next 1.5 years, I was just sobbing every day on a daily basis. I spent an entire 1.5 years bitching to my best friend about my ex, and he was tired of hearing it. I lost a lot of friends because I was bitching and venting out. Nobody wanted to hear it. My best friend passed away that I used to vent to, and now I regret ever venting to him. I see my ex now online. I look at her. I feel nothing for her at all because she put me through so much hell. And, you know, my mother put me through hell too, so my relationships with women have a lot to do with my mother as well. I didn't have a stable caregiver or a stable home to come from. I had a horrible upbringing. I might have had financial things like toys and stuff and food, but emotionally the love wasn't there because my mom has abandonment issues and she passed them on to me, and it really upsets me that I can't just turn them off and get rid of them. I think I could get rid of them if I could find the proper partner that's just willing to, that understands the place of pain I'm coming from, and will understand that they'll never reject me no matter what, and they know that they have to be with me no matter what because they've committed themselves to me, and that it's a full-time job. A person like that can't really have family or kids. You know, I wanted to be with a girl who had kids, but I don't think I ever could because kids come first. And that's just the way it is. I need to come first in the relationship. I need to be a priority. I don't ever want a woman, a female, to miss my birthday when they're with me and abandon me and leave me behind and tell me they can't go to my birthday because their fucking family says they can't. I don't ever want to hear that shit. I swear to God, if I hear that ever again, there'd be no telling what I'd do. That is why I steer clear from a relationship like that. Because I've got severe anger issues, and I can't be around that. I need someone who understands I come first. And in turn, they'll come first. And that's how the relationship's got to be. I'll never be happy until I find that, and I realize that. What I suggest to you guys is make sure you know what you want. And make sure that it's not going to affect your happiness and how you feel. And that your happiness counts no matter what. And what you want out of a partner, write it all down. Write every day, journal it, and study it. Like I've known for the last decade, I don't want to be with a girl who's family oriented. Yet I still hooked up with my other 3 girlfriends, knowing they were family oriented like an idiot that I am, all because I was lonely. I'll never do that again, and that'll never happen again. Need a woman, need a female who's non-family oriented, that's all about a relationship and building something. Now when we have kids, that's when it'll be time to get family oriented. Other than that, fuck all that shit. It's all about building each other up and growing and having the love. I'd give anything for a woman to have her arm around me and to kiss me on the head and tell me how much they love me and hold me tight. I miss having all that. I miss having my back rubbed. I miss touching and being touched. Other than sexually, I mean, it really sucks. I don't know. It's just the world we live in today. People just don't seem to get it. Love hurts and life hurts. To be born is to suffer. And I have suffered a lot, more than I should have. And I wish there was someone who could just take my pain away with just a snap of a finger. People say God can do that, but I beg to differ. There's no higher power that can do that. I got to do it myself, some way, somehow. And I've sort of basically failed this game, so to speak, of getting anywhere. But I hope I help you guys out, even though it might be too late for me. It's not too late for you guys. Well, that's all for now.